let me go first, just for a minute or two.
I'm just looking at it.
Did I make a mistake? You know, we just sang about joy shall come to us in the morning, and peace and hope. I think all of us are needing a lot of that inside joy and peace and hope. And maybe the most we need is peace. And I don't know how each one of us does that, but all of us have this little thing inside of us where we can quiet ourselves down and find some peace. I think the last several months have been chaos in every aspect of life on this planet. And maybe it's time we just stop for a minute. Just take a break. Sun's gonna keep showing up every morning. You know, PG&E's gonna keep sending us bills every month. And just stop and get peaceful, get quiet inside. We got Thanksgiving coming and Christmas and all the holidays. And I think this is a real important time to just stop and start thinking about all that we have in this life that our parents didn't have and their parents couldn't even have dreamed of. And how we can just start being thankful. Maybe today start thinking about, boy, it's been the last couple of months really tough, but at least, you know, my car started this morning. And there's gas in the tank. And I walked into church and it was warm. And I felt everybody's presence there. And we're all together in this family. We all have different ideas. We all have different backgrounds, different political ideas. We all have different friends. But we're all part of the same universe. We all have the same chemicals. We're all attached. We're all sitting together. We're one. And let's just take a deep breath. Take a time out from all the chaos and get ready to start thinking about, wow, all the gifts we have received in our lives. And some of those gifts hurt a little bit as we were receiving them. Oh, but we're stronger and we're smarter. And we can pass some of that on to other people, our friends and our family. So let's just stop and think about and be peaceful inside of ourselves. Okay, Kelly.
Okay.
It's your time. I just wanted to tell you one little thing.
I just looked at the order of service and I thought it had changed.
I make errors all the time.
You know, when Patrick was talking, this isn't my name, it's you, but when Patrick was talking, my brother said to me when we were chatting back at 911, where they were coming home, he and his wife were coming home just devastated, and you know, all the news is going, and they walk in the door and there's a dog just waving its tail and ready to go. And CJ said, oh, I wish I could be that dog. He's blissful, I mean. So this, and I agree everything what Patrick said, I think we all do. This one is about hope. And I'm going to read a poem that most of you know. Hope is a thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without words and never stops at all. Emily Dickinson did not specify what kind of bird the feathers came from. Previously to this week, I pictured a small, delicate bird, perhaps a sparrow. After Tuesday, I've chosen a large, strong vulture, as it has broad wings, has a strong stomach, and cleans the earth of anything that's rotting. This natural recycler is social and roosts in large groups. What's not to like about this bird? But that's my choice. Whatever bird comes to mind for you, let it help you remember Emily Dickinson's words, written in 1891, that hope perches in your soul and never stops singing.
Kelly, thank you very much. And good morning, one and all, and welcome. If you're here for the first time, please feel our warmth and our we have a thing here we call the unconditional welcome. We don't care where you've been, we're just glad you're here today, and we're happy if you want to run along with us in the building. So, I got a lot of announcements this morning. I'm probably going to forget some, and I don't want to, but a lot. Starting today, Wayne mentioned last week, and by the way, thanks to Wayne and everyone that made last Sunday happen without me here. That was delightful, actually. Thank you, and thank you all for the birthday greetings I have received. I appreciate it. Great choir last week. But Wayne mentioned last week about Music to My Ears over in Sebastopol, at the Sebastopol Theater, right on the corner of 12 and Main Street. A production called Into the Woods, and told you how to go online and get free tickets. It was a thing called Oaks Woods, was a code that you put in and you get free tickets. Well, I went to it last night, and if you try to go online, you won't find it to get your tickets because there was a licensing discrepancy and they had to take it offline. And actually all the tickets are free now, and because they can't charge you. So anyway, it's free. I went to it last night. It is a delightful production. It's like 7 nursery rhymes all in one, and it's just, it's a great cast, a big cast, and it's funny, it's very well done, and what I like about Music to My Ears is that they give the opportunity to local people to act, to sing, to be part of something, to let their juice flow into a theater production that might not otherwise get that opportunity. So I encourage all of you. Today there's a thing at 2 o'clock, and next Friday at 7:30 p.m. next Saturday at 2 p.m. and at 7:30 p.m. and it's free. And they have a thing there if you want to donate, and a lot of people do donate, and it's a great thing to donate to. They teach so many kids music and singing and dancing and acting. It's just a great organization. I've set it up. You're all welcome. The board met this morning and decided that next Saturday would be the perfect day for a work day. So if everybody shows up, bring some tools if you have any to do whatever. We'll have ladders and we'll have stuff and choppers, and we're going to trim the rose arbor here and clean out the gutters and just do trimming and cutting and hacking outside, anything we can do to clean up. So
what time?
9 to 1 or whatever. Just next Sunday, let's stop right there. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m., the Healing Circle right here, and again on the 25th.
I think it's 24th, but yes.
24th, yeah, okay, yeah. Tomorrow's
2 weeks after that.
Tomorrow's the 11th, and 15th will be the 25th. Anyway, and the Thursday, ladies, spiritual book study. I'll get them all out.
Not this week.
Not this Thursday. It'll be the following, the 21st. All right. next Sunday, the 17th, there's going to be a celebration of life for Barbara Colahan, over at Rancho Grande, where she lived. And I talked to Denise 2 weeks ago. They didn't have the time set yet. I called her on Thursday so I could have information for all of you today, and she hasn't called me back. So I will let you know. It should be next Sunday, like from 1 to 3 or 2 to 4. I will let you know Sunday. But if you're interested in going over to Rancho Grande, it'll be Sunday after church sometime, and I'll let you know for sure next week. And I think it's going to be kind of a potluck thing. They're going to have a regular kind of sharing memories and celebration. Then it's going to be a potluck, and then my band's going to actually play for Barbara's last dance party. And so we're going to play for an hour or so afterwards. So, let's see. I want to talk about volunteering, and so many ways to volunteer this year. Look at the on your order of service, look down at the last quote of the thing. Volunteers don't get paid, not because they're worth it, but because they're priceless. We talked at our board meeting this morning, and we are tithing this last quarter's tithe to Redwood Gospel Mission for their big Thanksgiving feast that they have out at the fairgrounds. Thousands of people they feed, and they send home food and they deliver food to thousands more. And if you want an experience, Janet has served out there and has gone. And there's no experience quite like that, to be part of something that serves so many. And they've been doing it for years. And another COTS, we took down a little donation that we made from our fundraiser to COTS. They've got a whole new recuperative care unit. And they can always use volunteers. We got a thing this week from Christmas in the Redwoods. And there's some of these flyers on the table back there. But it's over in Occidental, and they need volunteers for the Christmas drive-through every evening. I have no idea what that is, but it's supposed to be a really neat experience. There are flyers back there, and you can volunteer doing that. Might be a fun thing to do. Council on Aging is in need of volunteers to help out at their daily respite programs they have for people suffering dementia and Alzheimer's and other things that happen to all of us when we get elderly. And that's a great organization, and I've been working with them for 18 years. And so if you have a desire to volunteer and get some of that peace and hope back in your lives and put it back in other people's lives, there's just an abundance of opportunities. And I think we've got a list of 150 things you can volunteer at this year. I can't even read my own writing. So, does anybody else have any announcements? Yes.
I'm on an email list. There's a gal that presents at the Sonoma County Library, Jill Nilsson. I'm probably fracturing her name. She's known as the Veggie Queen, and one of her books is Vegan Under Pressure. But in her email, and she offers a free teaching cooking class. So you go to a thing at the library free, feeds you a meal, sends you home with recipes that she sourced from local gardens and everything, and teaches you how to do that in your own kitchen in minutes. It's great. But what was cool about her blog that came through is that in the new modern world with the media and everything, she got blocked for a couple of her links that she was just trying to share information. And so I typed in the Veggie Queen and brought up this thing. And if you want help to the information in healing after the months that we went through in this last week, two of the really good things that she offered, and there's something we've discussed in here, which was attitude of gratitude. There was a link to some kind of a feed that would have exercises to do that practice, and another one was breathing meditation. And so there were some links in there for that as well to help us in this healing. In my greater community, there's a lot of people really struggling this week. So I think those tools could be helpful. And if you'd like those links, I'll share it. Thank you. And then reminder, fill the food barrel so we can send it off and help our county.
And you just said something. Yes, Janet.
Oh, I wanted to say that Kelly did a beautiful job on our Church of the Oaks sign.
Yes, it's gorgeous, Kelly. Thank you. Thank you very much. That sign is kind of a heritage landmark too. It's really, really old. And it's a slab of one of the redwood trees they cut down here 30 years ago. And so anyway, when you were speaking, Sabrena, you said something about meditation. And it reminded me there were two mothers of two boys that just recently got out of college, and they were talking about, what's your son doing? Well, he's actually went to Chicago to interview with this law firm, see if he can get a job. And well, what's your son doing? Well, he hasn't got a job yet, and but he's taken up meditation. And she said, meditation? What is that exactly? She said, well, I'm not sure, but at least he's not sitting around doing nothing. What's that? Okay. I've got some news that's, we close our announcements every week with remembering and bringing to light people who are going through challenges and stresses. Ron Phillips is going to have surgery Tuesday morning. And let's hold Ron in our light and our love. And they don't know exactly what's going on, but I told him he's a tough old dog. He'll get through it. He said, oh yeah. So let's hold Ron in our light and our love. And let's speak names of anyone else that can use our love and our light and our healing and our support.
All the people who are suffering from fire and floods around the world. All of them.
Yeah.
People that are.
Anyone else?
My wife, Kendra.
Okay, Ken. Anyone else?
Clint.
Say that louder, please.
Clint.
Clint?
Neil.
Neil? Yeah. Let's hold all of these people, send them our light, our love, our support for the highest good. And so it is. Let's stand now and sing Give Yourself to Love. It's number, what, number 9 in the songbook?
How many verses are in the songbook?
It goes on to the second page, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 3 first verses with refrains. 3 times.
You got it. Oh, I don't got it.
We'll get there.
I got half of it.
opportunity to greet each other in the traditional Church of the Oaks fashion. Now I get to do the funnest thing that I do as a minister. I would at this time like to invite Catherine Stewart, our board moderator, and Dick Meyer to please come forward. Oh,
Said there was gonna be no blood oaths or anything like that.
now we don't do the blood thing anymore.
You started that last year.
But it's we are welcoming Dick into membership at Church of the Oaks today. And you have something to say. Why don't you say it, and then I'll say more probably.
Good morning. As moderator of the Board of Directors, it is my pleasure to present to you our official membership card. And a copy of the Constitution and bylaws of the Church of the Oaks. You are now a shareholder in this nonprofit corporation that was incorporated in the state of California in 1907 and is the oldest active corporation in Cotati. Along with all members, you are now expected to join us in being responsible stewards of our assets, which include our 3 beautiful old buildings and lovely corner property. We ask that, as a steward, you commit your support in the form of some of your time, some of your talent, some of your thoughts, and some of your treasure, not just with Church of the Oaks, but also to benefit the larger communities that we are all part of. Ladies and gentlemen of the congregation, help me welcome our newest member, Dick Meyer.
Yay.
Congratulations and welcome to our church community.
And Dick, thank you so much for becoming a member. And we would like to give to you this book. And that has been my favorite book for the last decade. It's just, I really enjoy it. And we're just, this is family, and you have just come amongst us, and just, you're just part of our family. And I'm glad it's kind of like an official thing now. And so, welcome.
Thank you.
Does anybody have anything they need to say about this? And speak now, or ever hold your peace.
No dissenters, okay?
And that family thing I just spoke about, that is our most valuable, most prized, most precious asset. It's each other. You know, we all got a little time, a little talent, a little thought, and a little treasure. But the most important thing that we have is each other. And I hope we can always value that and just be aware of what each one of us brings to this community. So let's read together, if we may, our affirmation of abundance. One must practice giving, receiving, and I'm sorry. We'll try this again. Reading 101. To realize an abundant life, one must practice giving, receiving, and gratitude. May we ponder that wisdom at last. As we prepare for our practice this morning, let's sing together in the stillness of the silence, in the silence of the stillness.
In the stillness of the silence.
Whatever he said, thank you. Number 97 in the wings.
Take my hood off. Good morning, everyone. So, Sabrena was mentioning breathing practices, announcements this morning, and I do feel those are some of the most powerful ones we can use just to keep our nervous system centered with all that's going on. I especially find a lot of benefit in breathing practices that also incorporate visualization. So that's what you're going to do today. This is a practice that you can use anytime you want to bring a certain quality into your experience. So it could be the quality of peace, which we've already spoken of and which we'll use for this practice. It could be gratitude. It could be love or forgiveness. Any quality that you know you need, you can use this practice with. But for our first foray today, we're going to use peace. And so here's how it works. I'm going to suggest that you visualize peace as a very bright white color. You can mix some gold in with it if you'd like. And we're going to visualize breathing that peace in when we breathe in, and breathing out anything that is other than peace, and just sending it down the center of the earth to be transformed by pure love and light. And we'll just continue on that pattern for a couple of minutes. So I'm going to invite you now to breathe in that beautiful white light of peace, filling your lungs, your whole body with that color. And then when you breathe out, send out anything other than peace, knowing it will be transformed back into the pure energy it is. Breathing in peace again. Breathing out anything other than peace. And breathing in peace. And let's just continue like this together. Breathing out anything other than peace. Continue now in silence. Notice if it gets easier as you go along. The hardest part of any practice is always getting started. But here in this group, we're creating a resonance now, where peace can become stronger than anything that does not match that vibration. More times, breathing in peace, breathing out anything other than peace. And just pause now and notice, do you feel different? May this peace grow in your life always. Namaste.
Before I begin this morning, I would like us all to focus our attention to this gentleman with a beautiful shirt on right over here on the window,
That's not fancy.
Ward Johnson, and thank him for his work with our computer. He makes sure we what do they call it, stream every Sunday, and if he's not here, he's doing it up at Lakeport. And just, that's a huge amount of work, and Ward, we certainly appreciate it. Thank you very much. So we've just come through some amazing chaos. God, it's a wonder we're all still alive. And where do we go from here? I have studied administrations ever since I was in Vietnam. I've been pretty critical of administrations of government ever since I was in Vietnam. And I think probably I can say quite confidently that America is going to continue business as usual. And therein lies the problem, my dear friends. And I'll try to attempt, if I don't forget, to explain that before this morning is over. I was speaking about this at board meeting this morning, but I can remember about 20 years ago, I actually got on the board 23 years ago, but about 20 years ago, I was the board moderator, and I thought, you know, we got to start running this like a business. And Vivian Clark looked at me, she said, if you do, I quit. She said, we are not a business, we're a spiritual community. And our purpose is to elevate consciousness, expand our awareness, and enrich our lives. And no business does that. That's not a business acumen. And I think that our country is a community. It's not a business, but it's run like a business. And I think we are so not a community. And what do we do going from this step forward? I think we ought to strive every day to expand and be inclusive in our activities, expand our community, talk to people. We are so divided in this country since the Civil War has not been, and we're all the same thing. Our fellow human beings walking down the street are not our enemies. No matter what church they go to, no matter what school they go to, no matter how they vote. They are brothers and sisters. The enemy is fear and hate. And if we can dispel that, chase that from our relationships with people we meet and see at Safeway, at the shop and stroll on December 7th downtown, where our community gets together, with people at work, with people we meet in the stores. We need to let them know we care about them. We don't hate them. We aren't afraid of them. They are not our enemy. There are people striving to get through this life with some amount of joy and happiness. They want for every one of us wants for our children and our family the same as everybody else does. And I think going forward from here, if we can find ways to expand our community, volunteering is a great way. This congregation, I didn't write a word on this. I typed it, but I didn't write a word. This congregation came up with these different ideas of what community is. There's some in the back. I had them out before. Check it out. I'm sure you can come up with different ideas. Our board's talking about in January having a bingo night, a game night. That will help expand our community. That'll help us be not separated, because we truly are separated. Every facet of our lives are all about me, us and them. How about we? You've heard me talk about we consciousness for 20 years. And if we can demonstrate that we consciousness, as we talk to the checkout lady at Safeway, as we go get gas and pump gas in our cars, as we volunteer at COTS or at Redwood Gospel Mission, or any place where we volunteer. If we can demonstrate that we consciousness, instead of showing up with a chip on our shoulder because we disagree. Absolutely, everybody disagrees. Everybody's got opinions. But if you can be accepting. I heard somebody say the other day, if you want to make sure that you always have the last word, apologize. I think that's kind of a neat thing. Anything we can think of, and you all have more ideas than I do about how we can come together rather than be separated. Our global community needs to be reunited with itself. We have been conditioned to be separate. We have been conditioned to accept hate and fear as normal and as day-to-day feelings and emotions. We don't have to accept that. We can choose to have empathy and compassion and forgiveness and acceptance and love. Love fixes everything. Gratitude. You can't feel anything but good when you're feeling gratitude. Thanksgiving's in a couple of weeks. If you spent 20 minutes a day writing down a list or even thinking about things you can be grateful for, well, you've got plenty of time to practice so that by Thanksgiving Day, you can just spend the whole day. You'll have it down. We've got all those people that we sometimes get together with over the holidays that, how could you say this politely, sometimes tend to get our panties in a bunch because they're just irritating. They're just folks just like us, every one of us. How about just accepting them for who they are, and giving them a hug, and let them know you value your presence, their presence in your life. How many times have we just looked at someone and thought, I'm so glad you're part of my life. I think about that almost every Sunday as I'm sitting here watching you come in. And I watch as you sing, and I watch as you give each other hugs and shake hands. It's a beautiful thing to see. And I think our global community needs as much of it as we can possibly do. Where do we go going forward? Let's be a community, how about? How about we accept people and know that they are no different than us. They've got their own ideas about things, they got their own habits, their own ways of thinking about things. But for every one of us, what's the two things we want most in the world? We want to be loved and loved. And how many times do we just kind of blow that off? Not even consider that he's acting pretty rank and messy, and maybe nobody's ever told that person that they're a gift in someone's life. We are spiritually injured in this world today. Bound and determined there's got to be war somewhere all the time. No, it doesn't. It doesn't have to be. Only to sustain business, I guess. But my dear friends, I believe with everything that's inside of me, if we treat people like we are glad they are part of our lives, that will spread. That consciousness of we, that caring will spread. Somebody walks up to you and says, wow, you did a great job. I'm so happy that we asked you to do that. How do you feel? You just start grinning inside out. We have the power to make people around us feel that way. Instead of being grumpy and afraid of the future and angry, it doesn't take much to give a compliment, or at least acknowledge somebody that they have value. And we're all so busy being worried, frightened, and angry, and we don't have to be. We can choose. We get up in the morning and we go out that door, we pick up that telephone, we can choose how we speak to other people. We can choose the message we send. We can choose the energy we put out into the universe. Doesn't really make any difference who's sitting in Washington, D.C. or Sacramento. They're going to do what they're going to do. We don't have much to do or say about that. We have everything to do with how the people around us feel. We have everything to control whether we're feeling fear and anger, or whether we're feeling peace and love and acceptance. We have that choice. And it doesn't make any difference what kind of government we have. You always have the choice to choose how you treat other people, to choose what kind of message, what kind of energy you're going to send out to the people around you. So going forward, I would suggest strongly that we all just kind of do the best we can and respect each other. Let each other know how much we value them in our lives. And our communities, our families are much bigger than what we have sitting in this room today. Think about the people you come in contact in your week. Have you let them know that they're significant in your life? Have you let them know that you appreciate what they do? You appreciate their presence in whatever fashion. If you do those things, it changes the consciousness of this planet, of the universe. So going forward, let's smile more. Let's hug more. Let's judge less. Let's accept more. Let's not run everything like a business. Let's run our lives and our communities like they are communities. That we're dependent on each other. We are part of each other. We don't have a bottom line. We have hearts, we have feelings, we have energy. We have joy. And we have peace. And if we share it and create it, we have hope. So let's end this year and begin the next year with joy and peace and hope and love and thanksgiving. And so it is. Let's sing kind of our new theme song, I think. It's called A Family of Love, number 210.